and Tim Sheehy. Lord, keep them safe as they bring their message of opportunity, prosperity, and safety to the people of Montana. We give you glory for all your amazing works. We thank you for the privilege to be called Americans. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Wonderful prayer, Susie. Thank you very much. Next, I want to welcome to the stage our Montana Secretary of State, Christy Jacobson, who won in 2020 by the largest margin of any other candidate on the ballot. As Montana Secretary of State, Secretary Jacobson has delivered historic results for Montana businesses and voters while providing exceptional customer service. She will continue to lead our state with character, heart, and resilience once she is reelected. Please join me in welcoming Montana's Secretary of State, Christy Jacobson.
Thank you, Montana. I proudly stand before you. I just returned from the RNC, where I proudly cast the 31 votes for President Donald Trump. I was honored to announce to the entire country at the RNC that Montana is the most patriotic state in the USA. I'll say that again. Montana is the most patriotic state in the USA. On that note, let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. USA, let's have some USA. USA, 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 USA. We proudly stand for our flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Christy. God bless our flag. Now, I want to welcome to the stage Miss Montana USA, Shelby Dangerfield. Yeah. Shelby was born and raised in Billings, Montana, a proud fifth-generation Montanan. At a young age, Shelby became a songbird and would be found singing almost everywhere about anything. Tonight, we're honored to have her here to sing our That was awesome. We're ready to go now. Fellow Montanans, as we all know, opioid abuse and fentanyl are huge issues across the United States and even here in Montana. Since 2019, fentanyl seizures in Montana have been increased by over 20,000%. Thank you, Austin Knudsen. Every day, more and more fentanyl is pouring over our southern border thanks to the open border policies of Vice President Kamala Harris. She had one job, ladies and gentlemen. And today, we have the special everyday American Colette Taylor, who has her own personal story to share about why President Trump should be restored to the White House to close our border and save Montanans and Americans. Everyone, please welcome Colette to share her story.
Whew, good evening. That national anthem was amazing. I'll start by saying it's an incredible honor to be here. I stand here before you today with the solemn yet powerful responsibility to be the voice for not only our Montana families, but for all American families who have fallen victim to our nation's drug epidemic. Knowing a lifetime of heartache couldn't be summed up in just a few minutes, I knew I'd have to be vulnerable and share a profound experience in order to best capture the death of pain that is cast upon families impacted by our country's drug crisis. Having not one, but two sisters fall victim to drug addiction at young ages, ICU visits and hospital calls were not uncommon for our family. And the call I received on September 10th of 2020 started much like the calls I'd received many times before. I was told my sister had been found unconscious, lying on the ground outside the hospital. Suspecting drug overdose, the hospital staff gave the appropriate medication and began CPR. They told us they were able to revive her, but the outcome wasn't looking good, and we should be prepared to say our goodbyes. With tears pouring from my eyes, I did the unthinkable. I asked God to grant my sister Sasha grace and to open the gates of heaven to provide her with everlasting peace. After so many prayers begging God to bring her back to us, I just asked God to take a life. And not just any life, the life of my own sister. The sister I grew up laughing and crying with. The sister that had the heart of 1,000 saints and forgave and loved wholeheartedly. The all-American girl I looked up to and once believed had limitless abilities because of her intelligence and insane ability to always be the MVP. This was a sister I loved deeply and wanted to share the end of my days with. Knowing her absence would create a wound I'd never heal from, I still prayed that prayer. A prayer I'd never imagined seeing myself saying. A prayer born out of pure desperation. A cry from a heart burdened with a profound amount of grief, pain, and fear. A plea for peace amidst the chaos that had engulfed my family's lives. And later that night, that prayer that I so desperately never wanted to pray was answered. And Sasha took her final breath. Drugs claimed her life for the last time. That night, 3 children were left without a mother. The fact is, my sister was taken from us long before her final breath. She was taken from us the moment drugs took control of her life. I don't expect many of you to understand that prayer I prayed that day, and for that I can only say and be grateful. Whew. Many of you cannot understand the web of conflicting emotions that went along with that prayer. But many of you do know that prayer, and all too well, because our nation's drug epidemic is a crisis that knows no bounds it reaches and destroys the lives of far too many Americans, from our southern borders all the way to our northern Montana borders. And much like my youngest sister's continued battle with sobriety, this crisis is far from over. Let's put an end to the havoc drugs are having on our nation and stop giving drug traffickers easy access into our country. And we can do just that by supporting President Trump's efforts and commitment to keeping our communities safe from the dangers that come with an open border. As President Donald Trump once said, a nation without borders is not a nation. To ensure we protect this nation, we need Donald Trump. So tonight, let's stand together and rally behind a leader who has never backed down, never wavered, and has never failed to put America first. The man that allowed me the opportunity to honor my sister's memory in the most epic way. Let's make President Donald Trump the President of the United States once again.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage former acting U.S. Attorney General, Matt Whitaker.
My name is Matt Whitaker, and it was my honor to serve Donald J. Trump as his Attorney General. As a proud Iowan, I stand here in Montana knowing one thing is true, and that is what makes Iowa great and what makes Montana great are the people. You are hardworking, you are kind, you help your neighbors, and most importantly, you love the United States of America. It's also so good to be here with you, my friends, but especially Senator Daines, my friend Brian Zinke, my friend Attorney General Austin Knudsen, and your ex-Senator Tim Sheehy. We stand at a pivotal moment in our nation's history, at a crossroads that will be determined this fall for the future of our country. Today we have a critical choice. We choose either the path of proven strength and stability under President Trump, or we can descend into a continued path of weakness under Kamala Harris. The choice will define not just the next 4 years, but the very fabric of our nation for decades to come. Under Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, we see open borders. We see increasing violent crime. We see a weaponization of the Department of Justice. We see an influx of terrorists entering through our southern border. We see a world on fire. We see the cost of gas and food and rent ever increasing, and an economy that's not working for everyday Americans. We must reverse all of these failed policies. We must end the weaponization of the Justice Department and our courts once and for all. return to the basic principle of equal justice under the law, and the Department of Justice has to stop targeting parents at school board meetings, targeting Catholics worshiping in their churches, targeting pro-life advocates, and even targeting former presidents. Under President Trump, we witnessed a restoration of strong borders, a robust economy, and a commitment to national security that safeguarded our communities. Our country experienced a resurgence of prosperity, and our law enforcement received the support that they so deeply deserve. The safety and strength of our nation were priorities, and we saw tangible results. Kamala Harris represents a stark departure from these principles and is doubling down on policies that undermine our security, weaken our economy, and erode support for our dedicated men and women of law enforcement. Kamala Harris is a self-proclaimed progressive prosecutor who has pushed to defund police and supports cashless bail. Under Harris, Biden, and the radical left, the rule of law has disintegrated. Crime has skyrocketed. President Trump will unapologetically restore law and order. We cannot afford to continue down this path. The chaos that we see on our border today is the direct result of 94 executive actions taken by Biden-Harris in the first 100 days in office that rolled back the policies that we in the Trump administration had in place to make our borders secure. The Biden-Harris extremely liberal, wide-open border policies are allowing fentanyl to pour across our borders, killing tens of thousands of our fellow citizens, while making the United States less secure and extremely vulnerable to potential terrorist attacks here in the homeland. The warning lights are flashing red. Our communities, our borders, our future depend on the ability to stand firm and uphold the values that make America great. As Attorney General, I had the great honor to support law enforcement officers who put their lives on the line every single day. And I had the great pleasure of telling them that we had their backs and they had our thanks. And I let them know that every day the American people were behind them. In fact, let's take a minute to stand up and support the men and women of law enforcement. It's imperative that we back the blue, that we stand with those that stand guard against the forces of evil that threaten our safety and freedom. They are the backbone of security for our communities, and we must honor their service by ensuring that they have the support they need. In the words of Ronald Reagan, freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction. This statement is a solemn reminder of the liberties that we enjoy must actively be defended and preserved. The decisions we make today will shape the legacy we leave for future generations. Let us choose a path of strength, security, and prosperity with Donald Trump. Let us support law enforcement, secure our borders, commit ourselves to the principles that have made America the beacon for freedom and opportunity. Under Donald Trump, America was safe, it was strong, and it was prosperous. We need his leadership and his America First policies now more than ever. Do you agree with me? He's my friend, he's a fighter, he's a warrior, and he loves this great country. I'm so proud to stand with President Trump. And as I look across the faces of all you great patriots, I am optimistic about America's future. I am also very knowledgeable that we cannot forget that God is in charge, and we must trust him. So, ladies and gentlemen, the future is at hand. Let's restore America First policies, put Donald Trump and J.D. Vance in the White House, and make America great again.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Montana Attorney General Matt Knudsen.
Good evening, Bozeman. Good evening, Montana State University. It's an absolute honor and a privilege to be in this gathering of patriots. We're ready to fight for the values that make this nation great. We are thrilled to welcome President Donald J. Trump, a leader who has always put America first. My name is Austin Knudsen, not Matt, Austin. And it's my honor to serve as your elected Montana State Attorney General for the last 3 years. As the state's top law enforcement officer, I've seen personally the hell that Kamala Harris and Joe Biden unleashed in Montana when they flung the door at the southern border wide open. Folks, make no mistake, those border policies affect us right here in Montana. The cartel fentanyl flowing across our southern border has devastated families, it's devastated communities, it continues to devastate our state. This poison is now a full-scale epidemic, claiming Montana lives at an alarming rate. It has seeped into our communities, causing crime and lawlessness across the entire state. Folks, Kamala Harris and her newly announced lapdog, Tim Walz, will absolutely throw gasoline on this fire. Tim Walz let radical leftists take over the streets of Minneapolis, waiting for 3 days before he sent in the National Guard, while rioters smashed windows, looted businesses, and burned buildings. This is shameful. And then on top of that, Kamala Harris encouraged people to help bail out these rioters so they could go back to burning and looting and rioting. Tim Walz pretends he's just a normal guy from ho-hum, Minnesota. But there's nothing normal about him. Tim Walz is the most radical, far-left vice presidential candidate in U.S. history. Every single harmful policy imposed on us in the last 3 years under the Biden-Harris administration will be wrapped up to warp speed if Kamala Harris and Tim Walz get in the White House. He supports sanctuary states, sanctuary cities. He wants to use your hard-earned money for health care and college tuition for illegal aliens. And he thinks socialism is just being neighborly. Folks, we cannot afford to let Tim Walz haul his Minnesota garbage into Montana. And we cannot afford 6 more years of John Tester. John Tester is anything but conservative or even moderate. Tester votes with Kamala Harris and Joe Biden almost 100% of the time. He was the deciding vote against building the border wall and against permanent tax cuts. He opposed all of President Trump's Supreme Court nominees, but voted for every single one of Joe Biden's 200 judges. To help President Trump get our country back on the right path, we must elect Tim Sheehy to the U.S. Senate. Tim is a Navy SEAL combat veteran, a successful businessman, and he will truly fight for us and stand shoulder to shoulder with President Trump to secure our borders, combat the scourge of cartel drugs, and restore law and order in this country. Montanans, the importance of once again electing Donald Trump and finally retiring John Tester back to Big Sandy cannot be overstated. Montana and our country are at a crossroads, and the decisions we make now will determine our future for generations to come. We can, and we will, restore the greatness of this nation. Thank you for being here this evening. God bless Montana. God bless America. And let's get President Donald J. Trump reelected.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Montana State Auditor and Congressional Candidate for Montana's District 2, Troy Downing.
I've got to thank my beautiful bride, Heather, who's sitting over here. What a great day to be a Montanan. I'm Troy Downing, and I'm incredibly proud to have Donald Trump's, the next president of the United States, here today, and pretty soon I'm going to be able to say that Trump is in the House. I'm incredibly proud to have President Trump's endorsement alongside my two fellow Trump-endorsed combat vets, Tim Sheehy and Ryan Zinke. But right now, I'm worried about our country. You know, we're facing an incredible amount of turmoil, all thanks to the Biden-Harris administration, which has been a complete disaster, threatening our economy, our security, our welfare, hurting working families, and making the American dream harder to reach. And what I want is, I want a strong business leader in the White House. I want someone who understands how to negotiate, understands the art of the deal. Not cackling Kamala who will cave to outside interests, refuse to do what's right for this great nation. We need God and country first. Not woke politics. We need a president who, when the going gets tough, stands up with his fist in the air and fights. We need Donald J. Trump. You know, Trump understands the need to maintain the strongest and best equipped fighting force on the planet. You know, peace through strength. Under the Biden-Harris administration, we have an increasingly woke military. We struggle to recruit service members. We've suffered the botched, unplanned, and deadly withdrawal from Afghanistan. friends in here that are veterans, and this is very personal to us. To add insult, let me just be clear. To add insult to injury, the Biden-Harris regime negotiated with terrorists and made a plea bargain with the mastermind of September 11th. They backpedaled. That doesn't excuse that oversight. Let's be clear. We're Americans. We never negotiate with terrorists. When Tim Sheehy, Zinke, and I were running towards the fire when our nation was at war, Tim Waltz fled while claiming he had carried weapons of war in Afghanistan. Now, look, I appreciate everyone who served, whether they deployed or not, but Waltz is a complete phony. He's trying to steal the valor of those who have honorably fought and who have actually seen combat, not simply run the other way. Let's be clear. Harris, the border czar, stated I haven't been to the border, but I haven't been to Europe either. Well, the reason is clear. She can't find either on a map. To round out this leftist dream team, she's tagged a self-proclaimed neighborly socialist. Cackling Kamala and the socialist. Does that represent Montana? Does that represent America? Heck no. In short, Trump understands business. He understands the power of lowering taxes and the importance of secure borders. He understands national security, and he is desperately needed to right this ship. Kamala would be a disastrous escalation of a disastrous administration. The only thing that could make that administration worse is California's 3rd Senator, John Tesker. We need to send Donald J. Trump back to the White House, and he needs reinforcements. We need to send in the SEALs. I know that Tim Sheehy and Zinke have his back. Steve Daines and I have his back. In Montana. Do we have his back? Absolutely. So I want to thank you all for coming. I want to thank you for your enthusiasm. We all must show up in November, and we all must fight. God bless you all.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Congressman Zinke.
I'm a father, I'm a husband, matter of fact, my beautiful wife and I celebrated our 32nd anniversary yesterday. But I've also been privileged. In my lifetime, I've been a state senator, I've been a congressman, I've been a Secretary of Interior under Donald J. Trump. But I can tell you in a moment of seriousness, we're in a battle. In my lifetime, I spent most of my adult lifetime hunting down and killing Hamas. And now Hamas is in the Capitol. We need to send in the Navy SEALs. I was first SEAL in the House. We have 5 SEALs in the House. We're going to get 6. And we're going to elect Tim Sheehy as the next senator from Montana. And that's important. I can tell you right now, we need a commander-in-chief that knows the difference between our enemies and our friends. Montana and Donald J. Trump stand on the side of Israel. We do. Now this election, I've said it probably 6 or 7 times in my life, this is not my first rodeo. I've said, you know what, this is the most important election of my life. Well, we're here. This is the most important election of our country's history because it will determine our fate. And Montana will determine our country's fate both in the House, the Senate, and the President of the United States. I got to tell you, there are no finer people in the world to determine our country's fate than Montana. And lastly, stolen ballot. Waltz. I tell you, she picked the only candidate that can outshine him. But as a leader, as a military man, there's a commitment. You commit to your troops, you commit to your nation. In a time of need, you go to the front line, you run the sound of guns. That's what warriors do. You don't hide, you don't coward. In Montana, we're going to decide, everyone, Donald J. Trump!
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage U.S. Senator Steve Daines.
With President Trump's team, he is en route right now to Fieldhouse. But you know, I'm a lifelong Bozeman kid. I went to kindergarten through college here. In fact, I walked across this stage once upon a time as a proud MSU Bobcat. But Tonight, I want to welcome you to John Tester's retirement party. Here tonight, we've got some decibel meters that can measure applause. So let me ask you a question. You can respond to this poll by your applause. If the election were held tonight, how many of you would vote for Donald J. Trump for president? For the soul, isn't it? And I got to tell you something. I don't know about you. I'm sick and tired of seeing men competing against women in sports. Well, let me in on a little secret. Out here in Montana, we know the difference between a bull and a cow, don't we? We are 88 days from the most consequential election in your lifetime and mine. It is time to elect Donald Trump as President of the United States. It is time to fire Chuck Schumer. And we do that, by the way, when we send Tim Sheehy back to the United States Senate. Now, I got a trivia question for you here tonight. You may not be aware of this, but I've served the United States Senate thanks to your support since 2015. And I was the first Republican elected to this U.S. Senate seat in 100 years in Montana, by the way, we did that. But here's the question. Who recruited Kamala Harris to run for the United States Senate in California back in 2016? The answer is John Tester. Let me allow you to see another little inside baseball fact in Washington. You know, when we have a tie vote in the U.S. Senate, who comes down to break that tie? The Vice President of the United States comes down and casts the tie-breaking vote. Do you realize, out of 47 vice presidents in this nation's history, Kamala Harris has now broken more ties than any other vice president in our nation's history. She just surpassed John Calhoun and John Adams. They both served 8-year terms, and she got her done in 3.5 years. But let me tell you something about that. In every one of those 33 tie-breaking votes, which were very consequential, John Tester supported Kamala Harris in all 33, and Steve Daines opposed her in the other 33. What are some of those votes? What are some of those votes? If you want to add up the bar tab of crazy spending in Washington, we had 2 tie-breaking votes. One was that crazy $1.9 trillion stimulus package when there was already $1 trillion of unspent COVID money on the sidelines. They jammed that through. And John Tester and Kamala Harris voted for it. Steve Daines voted against it. And that, we warned the left about this. That was an ignite inflation. And guess what? It did. And right here in Montana, sadly, the most expensive vehicle that many Montanans drive right now is their grocery carts. And let me tell you something. If you like San Francisco politics, you're going to love Kamala Harris. She is right out of Central Casting out of San Francisco. And we aren't going to let that happen, are we? No matter what. They're trying to cover up Kamala Harris's past statements, her votes. She said she wants to ban fracking. Let me tell you something. President Trump and Tim Sheehy, they're going to drill, baby, drill. The Second Amendment. Who in this House tonight cares about their Second Amendment rights? And that does not stand for fantastic, I can tell you that. Contrast that to Tim Sheehy, who the NRA has given an A rating and will protect yours and mine Second Amendment rights. Kamala Harris wants John Tester's vote to decriminalize border crossing, and if you can believe this, to abolish ICE. Let me tell you something. We've got an alternative. Because Tim Sheehy and President Trump are going to secure the border, and we're going to build the wall. A couple other things here from Washington, D.C. John Tester voted for every single one of Joe Biden's liberal judicial nominees. Let me tell you why that's a huge problem. When you vote in the U.S. Senate for a federal judge, that is a lifetime appointment. We now have 6 grandchildren. You think a lot about your grandkids on these terrible liberal judges that are being put on the bench today because of John Tester, Kamala Harris, and Joe Biden. I'll tell you something. President Trump and Tim Sheehy, they're going to put judges on the bench that will defend our precious Constitution. Now, I'm going to share another fact that's not being talked a lot in John Tester's commercials. John Tester voted to impeach President Trump twice. Let me give you some good news. Tim Sheehy's got President Trump's back. So here's what it comes down to. The nation is watching Montana. They are counting on us 88 days away in this most consequential election. If we are going to take this country back, we must elect President Trump, and we must elect Tim Sheehy to support President Trump back in Washington.
This is the fight I'm focused on. Let me tell you something tonight. I've been working close with President Trump for a long time. He's a dear friend of mine. We stay in close contact. And I can tell you, we're very thankful tonight that of all the places President Trump could be, he's going to be with us here in Montana. Now, some of you might know I'm also good friends with his son, Donald Trump Jr. That guy knows how to shoot, by the way. He knows how to fish, by the way. And I'm sure we'll get Don Jr. out here to Montana before this election. But here's the bottom line. It's not that complicated. We need 2 Senate seats to win back majority control and to fire Chuck Schumer, okay? We need 2. Now, I've got some good news tonight, is we have 1 West Virginia. Joe Manchin retired. We've got Governor Jim Justice and Baby Dog running in West Virginia. And he is going to be the next U.S. Senator from West Virginia. The Democrats have surrendered on that seat. So there's one of the good guys. But guess where we go next? Right here in Montana. When we elect Tim Sheehy, we have won back majority control in the United States Senate. So this is going to be about votes and getting everybody here in Montana out to vote. You heard the president earlier mention we got to swamp the vote. Vote. We got to get out and get our people to vote. This is for all the marbles. It's right here in Montana. Because working together, we will send Donald J. Trump back to the White House. We will send Kamala Harris and Chuck Schumer packing. We're going to send Tim Sheehy to the United States Senate, and we're going to make America great again. God bless you.
What do these 3 criminals all have in common? Edwin Ramos, an illegal immigrant and MS-13 gang member, robbed a pregnant woman, was released, and later brutally gunned down a father and both his sons in San Francisco. Roni Aguilera, an illegal immigrant from Honduras, was arrested, released, and went on to murder a 14-year-old boy with a sword. Alexander Zinke, an illegal immigrant convicted of multiple crimes, was released, given job training by the city, and later robbed the woman in an assault that left her with a fractured skull. What do these criminals all have in common? Each of them was put back on the street by Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris has vowed to defund the police, eliminate cash bail, and grant citizenship to millions of unvetted illegal immigrants. These are dangerous liberal policies that benefit illegal immigrants and criminals, not us. These are criminals for Kamala.
Just the way it's you always smile, but in eyes I won't show. Yes, I will show. No, I can't forget tomorrow when I think of all my sorrow when I had you there.
Anthem. Come on, bro. You're good. Another one that's definitely good. start a feed on us if you haven't already? Okay, cool, thanks. All right, let's get this quick.
Sorry, I get what's happening.
I'm sorry. We'll be tense.
Am I good here?
Yeah, you're fine. Jacob, get down.
With the raucous crowd today in Bozeman. What he said, coming up.
There were hundreds of troops packed into a dining hall. They had absolutely no idea that the president and first lady were about to walk into their room. And when they did, it was a sight and a sound and a scene that I hope I never forget.
Former President Trump was met with a raucous crowd tonight in Bozeman. What he had to say, coming up.
President Trump brought back to our country. One of the young soldiers yelled from the back of the room, "Mr. President, I re-enlisted in the military because of you." And without missing a beat, the president said,
Thank you very much.
I like your tie.
Oh, thank you.
Focus. I know. No, just focus your camera.
Full of drugs and illegals. It's time to finish that wall. Make America great again. Might be old, but you ain't awake. I'm out in hell. I'll walk her back to the morning. Make America great again. Love this country, love this land, but we spiral. Gotta give her back to God and the Bible. Need her. must be lights burning brighter somewhere. Got to be birds flying higher in the sky, more blue. If I can dream of a better land where all my brothers walk hand in hand, why, oh why, oh why can't my dream come true? Oh why there must be peace and understanding somewhere. Somewhere the promise that will pull away all the doubt and fear. If I can dream of a warm sun where hope keeps shining on everyone, tell me why, oh why, oh why won't that sun appear? We're lost and found, we're too rain, we're trapped in a world that's troubled me. But as long as a man has the strength to dream, he can redeem his soul and fly. Deep in my heart, there's a question. Still I'm not sure that the answer comes. I'm heading for the I watched
number one is entitled to the top. Who's got number one right now? 5 points exactly. Show him the full range. Can't. It's in his contract at close position. Okay. Let's wait.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Governor of Montana, Great Gianforte.
Serving as your governor these past 3 years has honestly been the greatest honor of my life. And I'm looking forward to continue to serve Montana when Donald J. Trump is back in the White House. This presidential election can be summed up as the weak and failed against the strong and successful. That's the difference between Harris and Trump. Montanans have been feeling the effect of Kamala's agenda for 3 long years. Home prices are through the roof. It's harder to buy groceries and gas. Child care is more expensive. Biden trusted Harris. Boy, that was a mistake. As his so-called borders are. You know it. She's been a complete dud. Under Harris, we've had more than 10 million illegal crossings. That's 10 illegal immigrants for every citizen of the state of Montana. It's got to stop. The Harris border policy is as effective as a screen door on a submarine. Donald Trump will finish the wall and secure our border once and for all. Have you seen this guy they nominated as their vice president? Tim Walz? He's soft on crime, and his so-called peaceful protester destroyed his entire state. And Kamala Harris? She bailed him out. We need to defeat Harris and Walz and send Donald Trump and J.D. Vance to the White House. But they need our help. And that starts with electing Republicans up and down the ballot. And let me just say, I would be honored to have your vote in November. Together we've worked to fight the Harris agenda, her war on coal, and her war on Montana values. But it doesn't stop there. We need to send Ryan Zinke and Troy Downing back to the House of Representatives. We need to fire career politician, John Tester, and send Navy SEAL Tim Sheehy to the Senate. And we need to fire Kamala Harris. Make number 45 number 47 again. All, you know it, so we can make America great again. It's my great honor to introduce our next speaker. Tim Sheehy is a father, a husband, a combat veteran, a patriot, and a job creator. He has lived the American dream while serving our great nation. And he's running to deliver leadership in the Senate that will make Montana proud. Make no mistake, the fight for the U.S. Senate starts right here in Montana. John Tester votes with Harris 95% of the time. In fact, Tester recruited Harris for the Senate. What's up with this guy? Tim Sheehy in the Senate, Montana will have a true leader who will fight inflation, secure the border, and help President Trump make America great again. Please join me in welcoming my friend and your next U.S. Senator, Tim Sheehy.
Well, you know my name. Did you know those are also my pronouns? I've been a he, she for 38 years, I can tell you. Going to middle school in the 90s, that wasn't a fun name to have. And that is a joke, but it's also an illustration of the lunacy we're seeing in America right now. Where we are telling our boys that they're girls and our girls that they're boys. And John Tester voted for it. He voted to put boys in girls' sports. He has been a rubber stamp for the Biden-Harris agenda every single time it matters. You'll hear numbers like 91%. You'll hear numbers like 95%. The truth is, every single time America's been on the ballot in the U.S. Senate, John Tester's voted the other way. Every single time. And in the last 3.5 years, Kamala Harris has broken more ties than any other vice president in the history of this country. And that's because of one person, John Tester. And in a state that President Trump carried twice by 20 points, John Tester couldn't find the courage to say, I'm going to vote against these terrible policies that are bad for Montanans. I'm going to vote against these policies that are bad for America. And I'm going to vote against these policies that are bad for hardworking, everyday Americans. And what they've done is they put you in the back seat, and they've continually enriched all the D.C. special interests that pay for John Tester's campaign. He is the #1 recipient of lobbyist dollars of every single political candidate in this nation, including presidents. I served as a Navy SEAL. My wife was a Marine. We met in the military. And during the wars, we were deploying on and off. We saw each other like 45 days spread across 5 or 6 years. And that's the secret to a happy marriage, right? Just kidding. My wife's my best friend. I'm so lucky she still puts up with my crap. We love this country. We joined 18 after 9/11. When you joined after 9/11, I'm sure, who we got post 9/11 vets in here? Where are our veterans? The rest of our veterans, stand up. I want to see all our veterans on your feet. Thank you. Thank you. And all of you did something that John Tester never did. You put your country first. When my wife and I joined the military at 18 after 9/11, there was no question what was going to happen. We weren't going to get free college. We knew we were going to war. And we were going to war to protect this great country. I've been to about 93 countries around the world. There's some beautiful places. But there is nowhere I would rather raise my family, build my business, or call home than the United States of America. We are so lucky to be Americans. And if you wonder why we have a border crisis, it's because everybody wants to come here and be Americans. No one's walking across deserts to move to China. No one's drowning in the ocean to move to Russia. They are coming here to be Americans, and we should be proud of that. But I'll tell you another thing, America's at a crossroads. And when I discovered that, I've never run for anything in my life. I haven't run for student council, I haven't run for Congress or anything else. But when I watched the sacrifice of my friends, whose names I still wear on my wrist, we fought hard in Afghanistan. We answered our nation's call. And I still fly water bombers to this day. I protect our public lands. Just last week I was out water bombing, protecting your land. And I was flying water bombers in California by day, and by night I was on my phone trying to get American citizens, allies, interpreters, people that fought alongside us to fight the terrorists. Joe Biden abandoned them in Afghanistan. He left them behind. And he left billions of dollars of equipment. And in the wake of that, I got involved in politics. I said, enough is enough. I'm sick of this bullshit. We got to save this country. Years later, here we are. The reason I'm running for this seat is very simple. When I understood the importance of this race, when I understood that the control of the United States Senate came down to this seat, it was clear that my new path to serve this country was in the U.S. Senate. I got out of the military and started a business in my farm right out of town here. Bridger Aerospace has been a Montana success story. We've created hundreds of jobs right here in this state. And when we created those jobs, we had a lot of veterans on staff. We were fighting wildfires, innovating new technologies and ways to protect our communities. And I'm proud of that. John Tester attacks my company every single day, and it's disgusting. You should be ashamed of that. Just like he attacks my war record. And you know why? He attacks my war record because he doesn't have one. He attacks my business because he's never started one. But let's put all that aside. Let's talk about what matters to Montanans. I can't outspend John Tester on the air. He's got way too much money. So I do grassroots campaign. All 56 counties. Every VFW hall, every rodeo. We're going to every small town, shaking people's hand, looking them in the eye, and telling them why we're going to win this race and how we're going to save this country. And I've heard a lot of things across the state. To our native brothers and sisters, what have the Democrats done for you? What have the Democrats done for the reservations and the tribes? Why do you continue to vote for them and send them back to office? I ask you to consider supporting our campaign because we will put you first. To work for men and women. The open border crisis is destroying our reservations, our urban communities, and our rural communities. Fentanyl's pouring into our state and is tearing apart our families and the fabric of our country. 100,000 Americans a year, thanks to Biden and Harris, and Tester voted for it every time. For everyday working Montanans, gas prices are double, diesel prices are double. Your home's more expensive, inflation's at record highs. How is this economy taking care of you? It's not. It's been an upward transfer of wealth under the Biden-Harris-Tester regime. They've taken money from your pocket, and they're paying off college student loans with it. They're paying for illegal immigrants' hotel rooms with it. They're sending hundreds of billions overseas to other countries. When they should be supporting you. They should be supporting hard-working Montanans. And I'm thrilled that President Trump here supporting us. He's the first president in a generation not to enter us into a foreign war. He's built the strongest economy in a generation. Securest border in a generation. And he showed strength on the world stage. And we're going to send him back to the White House in November. But you have a very important job to do because if Donald Trump gets to the White House and doesn't have a Senate, he's not going to get things done. You need to deliver him a Senate by retiring John Tester. And across all 56 counties in our state, I've heard one thing from Montanans. They want common sense back. They want common sense government. And what does common sense mean to Montanans? They want a secure border, safe streets, cheap gas, cops are good, criminals are bad, boys are boys, girls are girls. This fall, we got to save America. We got a lot of work to do. Let's get to work. Thank you.
what's happening. What? And they don't have a clue. They'll fall in love, and here's the bottom line. Our trio's down through. The speak of self-titled. There's magic everywhere. With all this romantic atmosphere, disasters in the air.
traveling. I'll tell you, I know Montana better than you know Montana. I was all over your state today. Everything's 2 hours. When are we going to be there? 2 hours, sir, 2 hours. I gotta like Tim Sheehy a lot to be here. You gotta win. This is some beautiful country. I did do a lot of driving. I'd go to one. We went to some friend's house, a really good friend's house with your governor. You have a great governor in the state. We went around the state, and it was so beautiful. And I'd say, when will I be there? Approximately 2.5 hours. So great. It's a big state. It's a beautiful state, and we love it. And we've won it every time by a lot. So I'm thrilled to be back at this incredible place, this beautiful state with thousands of proud, hardworking American patriots, which is what you are. You built the country. Less than 3 months from now, we are going to defeat radical left Democrat John Tester. He's terrible. He's terrible. And send Tim Sheehy to the United States Senate. We're going to evict. We're going to evict crazy Kamala. Do you know have you heard of Kamala? Radical left. Radical left. Well, she has a couple of things that a lot of people from Montana would like. Like, she wants to take away your guns. You like that, right? All right, how about this? She wants to defund the police. Are you okay with that? She wants to allow millions of people to pour into our border through an invasion, using an invasion process. I don't think that's for you. It's not for me either. It's not for most people in this country. We're going to evict crazy Kamala, and we're going to get Joe Biden out of the White House. What's he doing now? Greg, what's he doing? You know, he wanted a debate. If we didn't have a debate, he'd still be there. Can you imagine if we didn't have a debate? Why the hell did I debate him? How did he do? Do you think he's happy with it? I don't think so. He's not too happy. You know, they took it away from him. They really did. They took it away. The guy had 14 million votes. She had none. But I'd rather run against her. I think she's easier to beat. I really do. And we are going to make America great again. We're going to make it so great. This election is about saving our economy, ending inflation, securing our borders, restoring respect for our nation. We're no longer respected. Preventing World War III, especially for all these young people, these young, beautiful people. We don't want to get them into World War III. And stopping a 1929-style depression, because that's what's going to happen. You saw what happened last week. With your vote, we will reverse the Kamala crash, and we will end the Kamala chaos, and we will stop the Biden-Harris invasion of people that don't belong in our country. They're invading our country. Kamala Harris, you know, it's interesting. Nobody really knows her last name. If you ask people, do you know what her last name is? Nobody has any idea what it is. Harris. It's like Harris. I don't know how the hell did this happen. You know, they said, so we had the debate. He didn't exactly do well. And they actually, CNN, it was very nice. They said, that was one of the greatest debate performances I've ever seen, said by a very important person at CNN. Then what happens? 2 days later, they said he was lousy. They don't talk about me anymore. They just said he was lousy. And he was pretty bad, you have to admit it. But we're going to turn it around. We're going to turn this country around. We're going to turn it around very fast. And Kamala is not up to the job. He's not up to it. Neither is Tester up to it. You know, Tester, everyone thinks like he's my best friend. He's never voted for me once. And yet his commercials is, I like Donald Trump very much. I love his pride. I love his border stance. He votes against the border. He voted against funding of the border. He said, love his stance on energy. He voted against our energy program. He votes against us 100%. He's voted in favor of crooked Joe Biden 100% of the time. He did it last time with the election. We had the same problem. You remember, he comes out, everyone's saying he really likes your policy a lot. He doesn't like. He's a radical left lunatic, just like Kamala, and we got to elect him. We got to get him. Since becoming a presidential candidate, she has refused to do a single interview. You know why? Because she's dumb. Or hold a single press conference. She won't hold a press conference. She won't do it. She won't do it. She doesn't want. And they're easy questions, you know, because the press. Look at them back there. Look at all of them. A lot of press. They're rigged. They're rigged. They're fake news. You know, I looked and I get these tough questions from the press all the time. And I look at the questions that Joe got, right? Where do you think you're having dinner tonight? What will you eat? Will you have ice cream for dessert? No, I don't know. It's unfair, the questions are so hard, he says. No, the way they treated him and with me. I won't use the questions because I don't want to give any ideas. They give me the worst questions. They are so nasty. They are the nastiest people, I think, on earth. And Kamala gives the exact same speech over and over again. Over and over. The same exact words. One of the people put it up, like they put 6 of them up, and every single word is the same. I don't do that. I got to give you a little bit of variety, right? I change all these damn speeches. Where are my speech writers? I'm going to do that. Just have one speech and just for the next 90 days go out and just read and think. But we don't like to read teleprompters, right? It's not as much fun. It's not as exciting. And somehow it's never as good as it. No, I think we're going to write out one standard speech. You read it from beginning to end. You know what happened? You'd start walking out and say, oh, look, Trump's not holding. How about yesterday? They said, oh, she had a big crowd. Oh, the crowd. The press is talking about the crowd. In New Jersey, I had 107,000 people. The press never even talked about it. Because they're fake. I went to South Carolina. We had 82,000 people. Oh, front row Joe, look. We have many front row Joes. We have Mr. Wall over here, look. I love that. Do you think he's in favor of building the wall? I think so. I think so. He's great. How many of you come to? Over 200, right? And you know, he's a great guy. He's like, makes a lot of money. You've got to make a lot of money. He travels all over the country. But the front row Joes are great. We have so many people. They've been to so many of the rallies. The rallies are great. We had a tough one 4 weeks ago. Very tough one, right? We had a very tough one. Lost a great person, Corey. Great firefighter, great person. Really amazing man, Corey. And two gentlemen, real Trumpers, real Trump people. They love our country. What's a Trumper? They love our country too. Really, really badly hurt. They didn't think they were going to make it, and they did make it, and they're going to be as good as ever. The doctors in that whole Butler area did a phenomenal job out there. They thought these two would not make it. And they not only made it, they're going to be, they'll be as good as new, but it'll take a little work, but they got hit hard. All Kamala does is read that teleprompter while pretending she had nothing to do with any of the disasters that they... You know, she's totally given up of all of the things. She said, I want this, I want that, I want that. Now she doesn't want any of them. And then they accused me of being horrible when I questioned her. She wanted to be non-energy independent. She wants windmills all over the place, windmills. Put a windmill on top of the building. We have so much oil under our feet. we have more liquid gold under our feet than any country in the world, including Saudi Arabia. And we don't use it. 4 weeks ago, think of it. 4 weeks ago, the media said she was grossly incompetent. And I said, oh, this is going to be an easy race. She didn't have a chance of beating me. She couldn't do anything. They wanted to get her out. They thought she should resign with Crooked Joe Biden. What do you like better? It doesn't matter anymore, but what do you like better? Crooked Joe or Sleepy Joe? Sleepy Joe, Crooked Joe. Okay, ready? They're both correct. I think Crooked Joe is more correct. You like it? All right, ready? Crooked first, right? What do you like better? Crooked Joe or Sleepy Joe? Crooked seems always winning. He's a crooked guy. All they had to do is think of it. If he didn't do the debate, he'd still be running. They'd be saying how great he is. He's a brilliant man, a wonderful guy. Really at the top of his game. He wasn't at the top of his game 25 years ago, I'll tell you right now. And she's worse than he is. She's worse. He's smarter than she is. But the Democrats didn't have the courage to force her off. They didn't have it. They didn't want to do it. It was politically incorrect. And now the media is saying that she's wonderful. She's wonderful. The same people back there, 4 of them I recognize so perfectly. You can't do a press conference, you cannot be president, okay? That's it. She doesn't want it. Remember when I used to always walk up to the press under the helicopter or under the wing of the plane and talk to them? I loved it because if I didn't like their question, I could say, I can't hear the helicopters. But they do many versions of it. Nobody ever did that before, you know. That was just, and they copy, everybody copies me. So now she walks up, she'll take like a half a question, and she'll leave. Joe is bad. Joe couldn't hear, he couldn't do anything. It was an embarrassment to that art form. That was an art form. It was an embarrassment. Kamala, sometimes referred to as Kamala. You know, she's got about 9 different ways of pronouncing her name. And because the press is so dishonest, no matter how you say it, they'll say you were wrong. You were wrong. I don't care if I get it right. I couldn't go. I actually haven't been accused that I know of calling it wrong, but if I did, they'd say that he did it on purpose. And you could do that. I've done a lot of bad name calling, where you call somebody that you know how to say the name perfectly, and you call it on purpose. They say, sir, you made a mistake. I said, no, I didn't. Kamala will not answer for her record of failure and weakness. A doctor, please. Doctor in the house. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Take your time. Take your time, brother. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. We love these people. They wait for 2 days sometimes, and then it's tough. It's not easy. Are they okay? Thank you very much. And doctor, take your time. Good. Thank you, darling. Thank you. Thank you. Take your time, doctor, please. We got a lot of time, right? Nice Friday evening in Montana. I think my next drive is going to be about 3-4 hours. I wish it was a little closer. That's one thing, but that's okay. That's all right. Our governor says we have all the time we want. Greg says we have all. You got one of the best governors. I don't know if you know. Do they appreciate it or not? I don't know. And the governor's wife, I don't know. He's a great one. He's a great guy. Country left if we don't get 4 more years. We got to not have a country left. That's why so many people, they come and they wait for days. They wait for days, and it's tough. It's tough. Thank you, darling. Thank you. Yay! Wow. Thank you. That's great. That's really good. Incredible people. So when you're commander-in-chief, you don't go to the run and hide away from the press. You know, they go and run, and they want to go on a record that's a fake record. They have a fake record, both of them. How about the new guy? How do you like him? And anytime you tell a story about anybody, by the way, Steve Daines, how good is he? He's one of the finest. He's one of the finest people you'll ever meet. I really mean that too. And it's an honor to be with you. And you want to do this so badly because you want to save the country. We need the Senate. We need the Senate. So thank you, Steve. And what a beautiful family. But you don't get to flee from tough questions, and you don't get to read a teleprompter like for short periods of time where you make a speech that's like 2 minutes and everything is right off the teleprompter. What a lot of work to do for that. And you don't sit across the table from Vladimir Putin and President Xi of China, they're lovely individuals. If you can't handle our press, because they're not as tough as you think, I've been handling them for 4 years, and then another 4 years, they don't stop. They keep coming at you, they're the worst. But we're going to do something. We're going to have the biggest victory. They're going to celebrate because I think silently they do celebrate. I think silently they do. I think silently they're for us. They're afraid to say it, right? They're afraid to say it, but I think silently a lot of those people back there are the press. That's a lot of people, but I think they're for us. For nearly 4 years, Joe Biden's mental incompetence has given Harris a free rein to impose her ultra-liberal agenda on America and others with her and destroy our country. You're destroying our country. Joe Biden was exposed during the debate. Likewise, Kamala will be exposed.